In this example, we're being asked to solve for theta. Theta is a Greek letter that represents an unknown angle measurement, like this corner in the diagram. This problem is going to be solved using trigonometry, and we know that we're going to use trigonometry because the diagram involves both angle measurements, like theta, and also involves side measurements, like the 9 inches and 2 inches. The first thing we need to do, like all trigonometry problems, is to label the diagram. In the diagram, the right angle is already labeled. This is important because sine, cosine, and tangent work in right triangles. And theta is also labeled. This is the corner for which we're trying to calculate the measurement. Next, we need to label the three sides. Start with the longest side. You can find the longest side because it will always be across from the right angle, and that side is called the hypotenuse. The second side to label is the opposite side. The opposite side is always across from theta. The third side that we need to label is called the adjacent side. The adjacent side is the last of the three sides. In this case, the one with the 2 inches. The word adjacent means next to, and the reason why we call this side the adjacent side is because it is next to the angle theta. Now that we have the diagram labeled, it makes it easier for us to determine which formula we should use to actually answer the question. We have three choices. There's the sine formula, the cosine formula, and the tangent formula. This right here is the memory trick called sohcahtoa, and it's useful for helping us remember the three formulas. In our problem here, we're going to look for which two sides of the triangle are important. So I notice that the opposite side has the measurement 9 inches. We're going to use that measurement. And also the adjacent side has a measurement, has the 2 inches. Those are the two sides that are important. The third one is blank, so we're going to ignore the hypotenuse. Now let's compare this diagram to the three choices. We need to find the formula that has an O for opposite and an A for adjacent. So let's look through the three options. It's not going to be sine. It's not going to be cosine. It's the last one right here. T for tangent, because the tangent formula uses O for opposite and also uses the A for adjacent. So let's write down the tangent formula, T for tangent. In this problem, we're going to use the inverse tangent formula. The reason why we're going to use the inverse version is because in the diagram, we're trying to solve for an angle measure. If we were solving for a side measurement, then we would use normal tangent. The symbol for inverse tangent is a little -1 symbol like this. So we're solving for theta, and then in the parentheses of the tangent formula, we have a fraction. And the fraction we're going to use is based on the memory trick sohcahtoa. In this memory trick, it has O on the top of the fraction, so that's the numerator. It means we're going to put the opposite measurement there. And then in the denominator, we have A, that's for adjacent. Let's rewrite this formula, and this time we're going to write the measurements in the formula. So we have theta equals inverse tangent, and then in the parentheses we have our fraction. In the numerator we need to use the opposite measurement, which is the 9 inches, and in the denominator we need to use the adjacent measurement, which is the 2 inches. This is what we need to type into our calculator. And so we're going to type in exactly how it looks, tangent inverse, and then in the parentheses 9/2. Let's pull up our calculator. On a calculator, you need to make sure that your calculator is in degree mode. On a TI calculator, you can do that by clicking the mode button. And a little bit of ways down, you see the word degree that's highlighted, so that's good. Click the clear button to get back to the home screen, and now we can type in inverse tangent. To do this, we're going to use the tangent button. Before we press the tangent button, we need to click the second button and then tangent, so that way we're using the inverse version. Notice how it has the little -1 symbol for inverse. In the parentheses, we're going to type in the fraction 9 divided by 2, and fractions are the same thing as division, so we can use the division key to do this. 9 divided by 2, and when we hit enter, it gives us the result for theta. In this case, theta is 77.47. We're going to round to the hundredth place here, 77.47. This measurement is the answer for theta, which means this corner of the triangle is 77.47 degrees. Remember, angles are measured in degrees, so that's our units. And that is our answer to this problem. Like and subscribe.